Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott and I'm on a marathon today. My puppy is still asleep, so I thought I would try and do another YouTube video. I spend a lot of time talking about keeping your cell phone alive and why that's important. A lot of people say, oh, well, when the grid down, your cell phone is useless, or EMP is going to take out your phone, and so therefore, or people are tracking me or whatever. But, in a real grid down situation, I think your cell phone is still important to keep running. And here's a couple reasons. One is it's a small computer. And even though you may not have cell service, there are a lot of things you can keep on your phone that you can use to help you make your situation better. An example might be you can keep survival manuals on your phone. You can keep important information on your phone. You can keep copies of your driver's license, credit cards. In fact, you can use your phone as a credit card. I've talked about cryptocurrencies. Your cell phone can hold, and you can use cryptocurrencies using your phone. Maybe through a Wi-Fi, because there's no cell service, but you can do that. Also, too, that being said, if you come into a place where there's Wi-Fi and there is an internet, while you may not be able to stay there and surf the web, you can shoot off a couple emails or a couple text messages to your loved ones to let them know you're okay before you move on. You may be able to say, I'm here, I'm okay, I am going to plan C, wherever that may be. But you can pass that information along, whereas you couldn't if you didn't have the phone. Let's talk about navigation. These cell phones, they all have GPSs. You can turn them on, you can turn them off. However, there are offline maps available. I've got offline maps on the phone that I'm using to shoot this video for Central and North America. Everything. It takes about 8 gigs. It can be used offline. And they update regularly. I keep them updated. So now I have a roadmap of how to get from point A to point B. I have another app that allows me to store topographic maps. And so I have that. I can get from point A to point B. And so, to dismiss using a cell phone almost sounds like shooting yourself in the foot. Now, also too, I use it for media. I'm shooting my YouTube video on my cell phone. And so I carry things with me to help me do that. But your cell phone is a good device, and people have been testing cell phones and cell towers against EMP, and you know what? Cell phones are pretty resilient. They're automatically shielded by their construction. And so cell phones seem to, might be one of the survivors of an EMP attack. For those of you that are worried about EMP attack, my take on it is that it is a very, very low probability that there will be a man-made EMP attack. Probably also a low probability of a CME, a coronal mass ejection, that will be strong enough to cause an EMP. Especially today when we are at our grand solar minimum, which may be an ongoing process. There's no sunspots, so you just take it for what it's worth. If you want to worry about it, go ahead. I'm not worried about it. I prepare in general terms, which generally keeps me prepared for most everything. But I do recommend you keep your cell phone going. Now, as a part of my get-home bag, my EDC bag, my everyday carry, I keep things that allow me to keep my phone going. One of the items I'm using today, or actually there's 3 items that I'm using today with my cell phone to help me make this video. I carry a selfie stick with me. I fold it up and stick it in the bag. I have a 2-port. It's made by Rode Microphones out of Australia. I have a 2-port analog to digital converter that I can plug into my phone. It allows me to use 2 microphones at the same time, so I can do a podcast, which I do. I have a couple microphones. I've got one here. I've got another one in the bag here. I've got some headphones. I've got actually 2 sets of headphones. One is a set of headphones that I can plug into my phone, and I use those like a phone. You know, they have a microphone and earbuds. And then I have another set that are just a regular set of headphones that I plug into this converter that I'm using right now, I tell you about, that I can monitor in real time without delay the conversation I'm having when I'm interviewing with 2 people. So for me, that's kind of important. That, and I keep a couple adapters in there. Another thing that I carry with me is I carry one of these little Gorilla Pod tripods. You can wrap them around trees or whatever. But you know, sometimes if I'm doing a YouTube video and I'm not in a place where I can set up my selfie stick, or I can screw this into the bottom of my selfie stick. I've got another stand right now that's a little sturdier, but it's a little heavier. But I can screw the bottom of my selfie stick into this, you know, spread these out, and it does okay holding the selfie stick upright. It's not the most sturdy, but it'll keep the selfie stick up enough where I can do a YouTube as long as I'm a little bit careful. But this weighs probably at least half as much as that metal one I'm using now. So, but most of the time when I'm out in the woods, I'm just holding the selfie stick. So, but it's important to have a way to, if you're a YouTuber or a podcaster, it is important to have ways to work out in the field to do this stuff. Now, in other YouTube videos, you hear me talk about my technology bag. This is my technology bag. It's a Condor, I think they call it a gadget pouch. And what you see in here, these are cables for my phones. I keep 2 cables with lightning adapters because a lot of times when I go on a trip, I carry my iPhone and an iPad, and I can plug them both in and recharge them. I have a couple other adapters in here. I'm not going to pull them out, but they're just micro USB and then USB, different types, so I can plug in my different devices. So I'm pretty well covered. My lighter that I showed you earlier uses a micro USB, and I have one of those in here. But that's, you know, you guys have seen those. Here's an example. I also have one of these. This is a magnetic recharger for my iWatch. Again, I like my iWatch. It gives me a lot of information. I can do a lot of things with it. I can get my map on here to help me navigate. It helps me navigate. But because I have the different ways of recharging it, I can keep this going. It's not that big a deal. One of the things I carry with me, especially good on trips, is a little stand for my iPhone. What I do at night when I go to sleep, I set my alarm clock, and I've got a night view, which gives me the time, and it's red, so it's kind of dim. But I just set it on this by the bed, so at night, if I wake up, I can see the time. It weighs a half an ounce, and I like it a lot. Even though I travel a lot in my own car, I carry a cigarette lighter dual USB port charger. And this one is one of the better ones. It's a 24-watt system. It will recharge 2 phones at the same time. And it's small, and I keep it with me just in case I'm not in my car and I need to fill up my phone. This is a rather new addition for me. This is a battery pack and a charger and a plug-in charger. It does both at the same time. I think this is 5,000 milliamperes, which means I'll get about 2 charges on my phone with this. 2 USB to charge something else, and then a micro USB to charge this if you're not using this. In other words, I can charge this up in my car using that other adapter I just showed you, as long as I have a micro USB port. So it's very nice. It's a little bit bigger. I mean, it is bigger than a regular just charger, but I have the option that this is also a battery pack, and it fits inside my gadget bag, which is one of my criteria, that, you know, all my stuff has to fit in that gadget bag. I don't want to go any bigger. And that's a point. You know, if you're building a kit, start out with what you want to put it in and build your kit around that, because if you do it the other way, I guarantee you your bag is going to be a lot bigger than you originally planned. But start out with the size you want and then fill that up, because space abhors a vacuum, and if you have space, you tend to fill it up. All right, last item is you've heard me talk about this. This is a 15,000 milliamp hour battery pack. It is solar powered. This is actually a solar panel, 2 USB ports to charge, and then also micro USB to charge this, not using the solar panels. When you see these little blue lights, yeah, there they are. One's blinking, it means it's taking in energy from the sun, so it's charging right now. And so all you have to do is lay it on your dashboard while you're driving down the road, and it will charge. Again, this is part of, you know, this is perpetual electricity. I can keep my cell phone, as long as this is working, I can keep my cell phone working a long time. I have other solar chargers, but this is what goes to me in my bag everywhere I go. I'm a little over redundant with the chargers, but that's okay. This kind of goes in a separate pocket. It's also a flashlight that's pretty bright. So, you know, some of the weight I have in my bag that makes my bag a little heavy, this is some of it right here. It's my, I call it my technology bags. I do YouTubes. I also do podcasts. And so I'm always prepared to do a YouTube and or a podcast. I can do both with my iPhone, and I have all the stuff I need to do it. And it just keeps things going. Like I said, when I come out here to do a YouTube, I'm just grabbing this stuff out of my get home bag, except for my little metal tripod, and I'm coming out here and doing it. So I hope this gives you some ideas. I hope, you know, when you look at your kits, that you get an idea how you want to do them and what you want to do. It's important to figure that out. And like I said, when you're building a kit, start with the bag, and then, you know, go from there to fill up the bag. If you do it the other way, you're going to end up buying a bigger bag, and then also, like I said, it's going to get heavy, it's going to get bulky, and you're going to leave it home. So everyone out there, stay safe, have a great weekend. We'll see you. Be secure. We'll see you.